As a valet parking professional, you are faced with many safety and procedural questions every day. What are the procedures if you find a purse or other personal items left in the vehicle? How do you handle an intoxicated person who wants to operate his or her vehicle? What is the #1 injury in your industry? How do you keep track of customers' keys? We asked these same questions to a large number of valet parking professionals. Oddly enough, there are no exact answers to many of these questions. Basically, there are no national safety standards, rules, or procedures for the valet parking industry. Each company must establish and enforce their own valet parking safety rules. In this training program, we are condensing the recommendations of many valet parking professionals and companies who use these services to provide a basis for valet parking safety. In all cases, you must follow your company's policies and procedures. You may see and hear recommendations in this program that conflict with your company's rules and policies. In these instances, it is important for you to understand your company's policy and to follow that policy. The recommendations in this program are simply basic rules and standards that we have developed through experience and communicating with professionals in your industry. As a valet parking professional, safety is extremely important as the hazards are many. Vehicles moving, the weather, baggage, fast-paced environment, parking, and more. Equally important is the customer service and courtesies extended to your guests. Smiles and courtesy give your customers their first impression of your company. If you're too busy or don't feel good, grumpy, or whatever puts you in a bad mood, that feeling will be passed on to the customer. The customer is expecting great service. In fact, the valet parking professional can set the tone for the customer's entire visit. It can work in reverse if you provide poor quality customer service. A cheerful greeting should be the first thing a customer hears when he or she arrives. If there are 2 passengers, both doors should be opened. It is expected by the customer. They want to be treated as if you really enjoy your job and want to make them feel welcome. Valet parking is much more than parking a vehicle. Customer service, courtesy, and making the customer feel welcome are vital aspects of your job. First, let's look at the most common injury to valet parking professionals: slips and falls. Perhaps you answered the question incorrectly, thinking it would be vehicle-related. Not so. Slips and falls cause the most injuries in the valet parking industry. This occurs because valets are in a hurry to provide great customer service, possibly not watching the walking surface, or maybe there is grease, oil, or other hazards on the walking surface. To prevent slips and falls, you must be totally aware of your walking surfaces, know where you are going, and watch out for hidden hazards. Where there are vehicles, there will be oil, grease, and grime. Where there is bad weather, there will be slippery surfaces. There are curbs, bumps, potholes, and other hazards you must identify. Take action to reduce the effects of these hazards. Slips and falls are always the victim's fault. You may think the hazardous condition caused the slip or fall. That would be incorrect. It is your fault if you slip and fall. Look at it this way. If there is a slippery surface, it is your responsibility to see the hazard and take action to avoid it. If you're walking down a flight of stairs, it is your job to hold the handrail and watch where you are going. If you are aware of slip and fall hazards, you won't have a slip and fall injury. Of course, if you see a hazard, report it so it can be corrected. In those circumstances where it can't be corrected, then you have to use your good judgment to reduce the slip and fall hazard. Running causes slips and falls, plain and simple. It's the nature of the job to be in a hurry to provide good customer service for every customer, but it's not okay to run. Take care of the customer, but do it in a safe, professional manner. Walk to where you are going. Many serious injuries occur when running. It's okay to be in a hurry, but it's not okay to have accidents. No running on the job. Should you assist the customer with baggage? Obviously, the answer is yes, but it must be accomplished safely. To properly lift anything, you need some basic techniques to prevent back strains and pain. Lifting safely is easy. The proper technique for lifting items from a vehicle is fairly simple, and it becomes automatic after a little practice. First, make sure you have a good palm grip on the item you are going to lift. Hold the item close to your body. This greatly reduces the stress on your back when lifting. Make sure your feet are positioned in a safe and comfortable manner, about a shoulder's width apart. Bend your legs and lift the item slowly. Never twist when lifting. Instead of twisting, lift the item, pivot your feet, then proceed where you are going. Bend your legs to set the item down as well. How in the world do you do all this when you've got 80 pounds of luggage in the trunk of the vehicle? First, you slide the baggage to the end of the trunk. You slide it out by pulling on the bag until it is positioned for a proper lift. Don't jerk the bag or try to lift it to the ground. Get a good grip on the bag, bring it close to your body, then lift, using your leg power, not your back. Some bags appear to be very light, but when you pick it up, it's heavy. That's one reason for sliding the bag to get an estimated weight. Then you bring it to the edge of the trunk until you can get a good grip, then use your leg power. The object is not to cause damage to your back, discs, or ligaments by lifting improperly. Your first reaction to this may be, "These guys are nuts. That'll take too long." But if you practice the technique, it'll be just as fast as the old way, and it'll reduce your back pain. Guaranteed. Don't forget that you're lifting the customer's possessions. Perhaps they paid a lot of money for that luggage and don't want it damaged or scratched. Use the safe lifting technique and don't damage or scratch the luggage. Before you get in to park the car, you need to take a quick walk around the vehicle. If there is any damage, it should be noted on the ticket for future reference. On occasion, customers have been known to blame the valet parking company for existing damage to their vehicle. The customer may not even be aware of some damage and later may allege that it was done in your facility. A quick inspection doesn't take but a few seconds, and it can prevent problems from happening. When getting into the customer's vehicle, you may be required to adjust the seat, but it should always be readjusted when the vehicle is delivered back to the guest. Do not touch anything except what is required to park the vehicle. Now this means the radio, the air conditioning, personal property, or anything else. We asked 21 parking professionals what they would do if they found valuables in the vehicle. 7 said leave it alone. 7 said report it to your supervisor, and 7 said return it to the customer. Who was correct? The answer depends on your company's policy. Follow it. How do you drive the customer's vehicle? Safely. No speeding, no taking chances. Operate the vehicle in the safest possible manner. Not only does fast driving show disrespect for the vehicle, it shows disrespect for the customer as well. It's just common sense. When operating a vehicle, the doors must be closed before you move an inch. Too many injuries have occurred because the valet was moving the vehicle only a few feet, so a leg was left dangling close to the driveway. Close the door every time. When driving, be on the lookout for other vehicles or pedestrians walking near or around your vehicle. Just because you can see the pedestrian does not guarantee that the pedestrian can see you. Keep your eyes open and pay attention. Again, when operating any vehicle, you should use caution. No dents, dings, scratches, or crashes. It means keeping your foot on the brake while starting, using the parking brake when necessary, and all the things that distinguish a professional from the others. Use caution when opening doors. How many dings do you see because some person opened a car door on your own personal vehicle? Be careful. Your responsibility requires you to use your good judgment and treat the customer's vehicle with great care. Of course, operating the vehicle at a safe speed is the professional method of valet parking. How would you handle an intoxicated customer that insists on driving their vehicle? Give them the keys or refuse to let them drive? The correct answer is to follow your company's policies and procedures. If you allow an intoxicated person to operate the vehicle, the company may be liable if there is an accident. There are many variables and we don't have the answer. It's up to you to follow your company's policy. What do you do if a customer arrives to pick up the vehicle and becomes angry at you or something else? Never argue. Notify your supervisor and let him or her handle the situation. Above all, never argue with a customer. Your job is customer service and courtesy. Unusual situations are handled by supervisors or other authorized personnel. Now let's talk about key control. The valet area can get quite busy, and without proper key control, the situation would be a mess. Your company has specific rules relating to key control, and they must be followed to the letter. You cannot afford to misplace even one customer's keys. Obviously, this is a very important function, and for the safety of the company, it must be followed exactly. Fill out each ticket completely and place the ticket and the keys in the appropriate location. No shortcuts. How do you provide service to a person that may be handicapped and need assistance? Simple. You provide customer service and courtesy. Ask how you may help, if any assistance is necessary. More often than not, handicapped people will not need your help, but as a courtesy, you should ask how you can be of assistance. Again, your company has procedures for assisting the handicapped that must be followed. This next item should never occur, but we need to mention it. An accident with the customer's vehicle. Always report any accident to your supervisor. A report and accident investigation must be conducted, and reporting the accident to your supervisor is the first step. Again, rely upon your company's policy, but you should report all accidents and injuries to your supervisor or authorized personnel. The same applies if you see a customer injured on your premises. Perhaps the customer slipped and fell or had some other accident. It doesn't matter how severe, every incident must be reported. Even if the customer is not injured, a report should be made. Now, have we covered everything? Certainly not. There are too many things that may occur during your workday for us to cover in one short video. You must rely on your common sense and good judgment to remain accident and injury-free. Follow your company's policies and procedures, and always pay attention to safety. It is your responsibility. Watch where you walk. Lift safely. Drive safely. Nothing too technical, just being a courteous, safety-conscious valet. Remember, accidents and injuries can be prevented if you do your part. Thank you.